Thank you for joining us. My name is Maria Anastasiou. I'm the new Associate Provost for International Programs at UNCG. And I'm very happy to see all of you here today and get to know who you are. I want to first thank our visitor from our guest from the Institute for International Education. And I'll probably just butcher your name. And I'm so sorry. Afertida?
Yes, you got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Afertida is the Outreach and Recruitment Officer for the Fulbright Scholar Program at IIE. And I'm new at UNCG and started on July 1st. And one of my passions in international education is the Fulbright program, just in general, all the opportunities that are available. I came to the United States as an international student through the Fulbright program. I had a Fulbright scholarship. And I tell people that if it wasn't for that opportunity, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I am so thankful and grateful for that opportunity. And I want others to have the same, similar impactful experiences. And so we've invited IIE to come and share some of the opportunities for scholars. There is a program for students, there's a program for scholars, there's a program for staff, administrators, and we're very thankful to have her here with us. But I wanted, if you don't mind, maybe we can go around and just see who is in the room, because since I'm new here, I'm trying to get to know everybody, and we'll keep in touch too. So who would like to go first? There's not many of us here, so I'm just gonna leave it up to you. Thank you, Lorena.
I unmute myself first. Well, my name is Lorena Ilian. This is the beauty of Zoom. At least you can see the name, no?
Yes.
I'm in the School of Music in the Music Studies area. So I'm one of the musicologists teaching in the School of Music.
Thank you. Katrina?
Hi, I'm Katrina Kim. I'm actually also at the School of Music, Music Studies. I'm a music theory person, so it's nice to meet you for the first time, Lorena. And Maria, like you, I'm also new here. I started August 1st, so it is a brand new place, but nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Marquetta?
Yes, hi, I'm Marquetta Rickley. I'm in the Bryan School of Business and Economics, and I'm an assistant professor in management.
Thank you. And Carmen?
Yes, I'm Carmen Monico, and I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to put the video, but I just knew about this a few minutes ago and joined because I'm actually in the joint program of social work between A&T and UNCG with dual appointment in both universities, but anchored in A&T. And I'm actually new at A&T and in the joint program. And I was a U.S. Fulbright Scholar in Guatemala not long ago. So I was looking forward to just learning more about other programs. I submitted actually an application for the Centennial program this coming this summer. Didn't get it, but I wanted to learn about other opportunities. So I'm looking forward to listening to what you have to say.
Thank you. Heidi, would you like to introduce yourself too?
Sure. Hello. My name is Heidi Bretz. I use she, her pronouns, and I am one of the assistant directors for study abroad and exchanges in the International Program Center. My two primary roles are as the faculty-led programs coordinator. So if any of you are interested in leading short-term study abroad programs, talk to me about that. And then as of July, actually myself, I also adopted the role of fellowships advisor on campus for mostly the Fulbright student program and critical language scholarship, Truman, Goldwater, all of those named awards, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the Fulbright Scholar side of things.
Thank you. And Heidi has done a fantastic job. We had 9 successful Fulbright student applications this cycle. And, you know, one of the things I know, we're keeping our fingers crossed for our students too. But, you know, the process itself of applying for an award is as important as the actual award. And one of the things that I would like us in the future to do, hopefully, is to connect the faculty with the students in a more meaningful way. So we had a number of faculty members who helped the students through the process, but the scholars who get an award, they kind of have a better sense of the purpose of the Fulbright program, and Aphrodita will help us understand that. So, so yeah, and so I'll leave it up to you, Aphrodita, to kind of guide us through the different opportunities, and then hopefully we'll have some time at the end to just ask questions too. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Maria.
Do I need to give you sharing? I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, Heidi already gave
she already did.
the
Perfect.
power, so I have
you.
it. But thank you so much for your kind introduction, Maria and Heidi and Katrina and Lorena and Marqueta and Carmen. It's so nice to meet you all. And actually, I must say, this is the first time I've done a presentation where the audience and everybody, and we have women only. So this is interesting, but I guess we have also a colleague who is waiting to join, Andrew Willis. So that will add some diversity to our group. But yeah, so like you said, Maria, I am Aphrodita Krasniqi. I work on the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program at IIE based in New York City. So I've been doing the Fulbright program for 20 years this year. So I used to work at a U.S. embassy in Southeast Europe in Kosovo for 17 years. And then I was awarded the special immigrant visa to come and live in the US 4 years ago. So here I am now. I've seen the full cycle of the Fulbright program, how it is to host Fulbrighters, and now I work on the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program, how to prepare help applicants with preparing strong applications. And I work in the outreach and recruitment side. So once they're selected, then there is another team that works with them. But it is my honor here today to present to you the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program to UNC Greensboro, because you know, ideally I would have traveled and met you in person, but this is our world now. We're trying to stay safe. And I'm gonna also share my presentation that I prepared for you. And I would like this to be an interactive presentation, so that, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But let me just see, it is a bit difficult for me to share it. Okay, so let me know if you can see my presentation. And okay, great. So basically what we are going to discuss today, and like you covered for the Fulbright U.S. Student Program, which is a different application process altogether. I mean, many of the important things are in common, but the process is different because the Fulbright Scholar applicants apply directly and work directly with us. So what Heidi does, help the students to put together a strong application, that's my role. So I work on the Europe and Eurasia region, which is the largest region in the Scholar Program. And we are a resource for the applicants. And every time you have questions about a particular country, especially in Europe and Eurasia, you would contact me, and then I work directly with applicants. So do not hesitate. Once you decide to apply, especially if you're applying for Europe and Eurasia, one of the countries, then just reach out to me directly. I'm going to share also my email with you all in a minute. But before you even decide to apply for the Fulbright program, you want to see, like, you want to learn a little bit about the history and background and the mission. So this will help you put together also a strong application in the sense of serving as a cultural ambassador to this country, because the mission of the Fulbright program is to foster mutual understanding between the US and these other countries. And we are in partnership with 160 countries worldwide. So we do offer great opportunities as part of the Fulbright family. We have different programs, but for the scholars in particular, it's an opportunity to do teaching, research, and we also offer the seminars for administrators. The program was established in 1946, and at that time, and now next year we're going to celebrate 75 years of the existence. So the vision of the senator at that time was to bring people together, and also this is my passion to build bridges between people. And the program is sponsored by U.S. Department of State, and it is with the funding of the U.S. government. And here in the U.S., it is administered by the Institute of International Education, whereas overseas, it is administered by either Fulbright commissions, which are organizations that are established in usually more developed countries. And in majority of the countries, the program is administered by U.S. embassies. So these are just some of the stakeholders and partners as part of the Fulbright, because if you decide to apply, you will be working with every one of them along the way. Fulbright always strives to have diversity and inclusion in the pool of applicants and in the pool of the selected finalists. So we always encourage the involvement of people from traditionally underrepresented audience in all of our grants, programs, and initiatives. So Fulbright does not discriminate. It is open to people regardless of their race, color, national origin, sex, age, religion, and etc. So just to keep that in mind, and especially those underrepresented institutions. Like I also did a little bit of background search. I noticed that in the last 10 years, we've had only 3 alumni from UNC Greensboro that attended the program. So this is a great opportunity because we see this as an underrepresented organization. Think about why Fulbright. It is indeed a transformational experience. Whoever has had a Fulbright, and you, Maria, probably can attest to this, and others that we have in the room that have been have attended the program, it is an opportunity to foster relationship, that you will make long-lasting friends, like you will expand your publishing network. It is a possibility for you to become more multicultural in the classroom, serve as a cultural ambassador for international exchange, and you gain this professional recognition as being identified as a Fulbright scholar. So it stands out in your resume, a possibility to join a vibrant alumni network. You meet with other scholars, Fulbrighters. Also, what stands out as being a Fulbright scholar, it is a family-friendly program. We do have approximately 60% of our awards provide dependent support. So they do provide, depending on the countries, but they do provide dependent support. And then we've heard these great stories from Fulbright dependents who go on to have international careers, because they were inspired by this experience as they were accompanying their parents or others. It is a very supportive program because from the minute you decide to apply, you will have support. You will work with us. You will work with the embassy or the commission in the hosting countries. You will work with alumni, etc. So there's always like people who you can turn to for help, for guidance, for any resource that you need. So just to see how big the program has grown since 1946, approximately 390,000 Fulbrighters have participated in the program. So this is a large network. And just to highlight the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program and Administrator Program that we're talking about today, we send about 800 U.S. scholars and administrators a year to over 130 countries. We do have other programs, like if you also are interested to encourage, other Fulbrighters, the international scholars to apply, there are opportunities for them to also come to the U.S. We host about 900 of them. And then the Fulbright U.S. student program, 2,200 of them are selected a year, and other programs that we have here as well. So there are great opportunities, but like annually, there are 8,000 Fulbrighters going back and forth as we say, in international Fulbrighters, but also US Fulbrighters. And just so you get a better sense of the trends from 2018 and 2019 application cycle, we came to this update on the what was trending in this application cycle. Majority of the awards were a combination of teaching and research, 38%. Because, having worked on a Fulbright program for so long, I see that the Fulbrighters, the scholars in particular, they want to maximize the time when they're in the country. They want to do both teaching and research. But not necessarily you have to do both. It's up to the scholar, up to the opportunities that the countries offer, because some countries might offer just teaching only or research only, depends. Research is the second most popular, followed by teaching, the seminars, and postdoc opportunities. And what does it take for you to become an eligible Fulbright scholar? First of all, US citizenship is required, because we do get this question all the time from green card holders. Unfortunately, they're not eligible to apply until they become a US citizen. The minute they become a US citizen, they are eligible to apply. And then depending on the country and the award requirements, because we do have opportunities for PhD, when PhD or terminal degree is required, or we do have opportunities for master degree holders or MFA holders. And then for more and more, we're seeing this trend of countries offering opportunities to professionals and artists with substantial accomplishments. And then just look for if you're interested to apply to a teaching award, just look for the requirements for the experience, because we do have this terminology in Fulbright, like early career and then mid-career, senior level of scholars. So, and whenever you're not sure, you can always check with us. And make sure for the returning Fulbrighters, because I know we have some in the room, that you just have to wait 2 years from the last time you completed your Fulbright until you can become eligible again to apply. So basically, 2 years have to pass from the last time you completed your Fulbright, and then in order for you to be eligible. Look for a Fulbright that works for you, because there's so many, like endless opportunities. You can only apply to one award, and in the application cycle, we do have like multi-country awards, or the Global Scholar, but first of all, look for the country that you are so passionate about. Look where you are in your career. Like I mentioned, if you're a postdoc candidate, early career, mid-career, we do have like these specificities mentioned in each of these awards. And then there are also opportunities for retired, emeriti, adjunct, independent scholars. But again, not every country is open to every level. Sometimes we would have open to any level, but sometimes they're very specific to what kind of level they would like to see. And then we do offer the flex option, which is an opportunity for those scholars who cannot take a leave of absence. So if you cannot take a sabbatical, it's not your time, or you must be here to teach. So flex option is an opportunity to travel within 2 years, within the span of 2 years, back and forth. And then there are like specific timelines. Some countries would say, as long as you stay 1 month for one time, and then you just go back and forth, and this is all funded. But the flex option does not support dependents, of course, because this is a lot of traveling back and forth. It is available in 63 countries and old world areas. We do have the Global Scholar Award that allow you to do your teaching or research in at least 2 world regions and maximum 3 world regions. This is a very competitive award. So I would not encourage you to consider this one. Always try to find one country where you really can make a great impact. And moving forward to how to select the right award, once you've decided, let's say, the country, look for the expertise they're looking for and the experience and proposal to the award description. So try to match that with their requirements. And if you have regional experience and language ability, that helps you in the sense of becoming a better cultural ambassador, connecting with the communities, connecting with your students, your peers, etc. But in majority of these countries and awards, language is not required. Again, only if you have it, that helps you. But if you don't, you can focus on strengthening your application in other topics, other components. And then we do have discipline preferred awards, and I always encourage applicants to look for those rather than when we have the open-ended all discipline awards. And why is this project relevant to the host country? And how will these communities benefit from your project? Look for the career level. Again, this is very important. So all these parameters are important. So now I would like to share the website where I can just show you how to understand these awards and how to look for this important information. So just give me a second. Let me see. Okay, so, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, because I know I'm trying to just go like step by step in the review, but this is our website, cis.org. And just so you know where we stand in the application process right now, we just closed the 21-22 cycle, and the new cycle for 22-23 will be open in February of 21. So we always start the application 1.5 years in advance. So that gives the applicants sufficient time to put together a strong application. So, and mind you, these are the award opportunities that were offered in 21-22. So this is closed, but just so you have an idea of what we offer. There are 457 awards that can be found, that were found for 21-22. Every year, some countries would add or remove awards. So not necessarily the same awards will be offered every year. But again, in February 21, you would have a better sense of what's the most current opportunities. So just in alphabetical order, I want to choose Albania here. They offer the all disciplines, and many countries offer the all discipline awards. And these are like just a typical parameter, like most of the information will differ from country to country. But for example, you would look for the grant activity, what they offer, how long is this for? Because you have to match your project according to what it is offered. The dates must match your project, so typically it's usually for during the academic year for the teaching, especially if you're doing teaching, it must match their academic year. But if it's for research, unless it is specified, it depends on the agreement you have with the host institution. The location usually indicates what is the host institution that you should affiliate with. So this, for example, is open to any institution, but the U.S. Embassy staff will help applicants with identifying the best institution to work with. So you will have resources even during the application process. The U.S. embassies or the Fulbright commissions will be open to giving you suggestions. So you want to reach out to them. They do offer the flex option in this award, and then more like flex grant parameters. The discipline type is listed here. So this is open to any discipline, but sometimes they will say, even though if it's open to any discipline, they will have like sometimes the specializations and what are the preferred disciplines. So if you are in those preferred disciplines, you always have a better chance. And then look for all these 4 tabs that we have here. The letter of invitation is optional in this case. Whenever it is required, you must get a letter of invitation. So you need to start your research early. And additional information about the letter or the language proficiency requirements. A majority of the awards, again, do not require the local language, but if they do, they would list it here. Additional qualification. So we have a raised hand. So yeah, if you want to ask something, Dr. Monico, or maybe that was just
No, yes, I wanted to ask about the flex option, and
Sure.
is that available only to the new applicants, or is it possible for somebody who has been more than 2 years a U.S. Fulbright Scholar? And also, if you can talk a little bit more about the global program. A colleague of mine actually got that one, and I was just interested in learning more about it.
Sure. Yes, of course. So basically, just to answer your question about the flex option, it is available to even alumni, as long as you meet the 2-year residency or 2-year, you're back in the country here for the last 2 years, and you're eligible to apply. You know, all these requirements apply to all the eligible candidates. And about the Global Scholar, so basically, that's one award that allows you this possibility. And we can actually I'm going to show that to you here. It is a possibility for you to do work in at least 2 world regions or maximum 3 world regions. So they offer it is open to professionals, it is open to scholars. PhD is not required. That's why it's so attractive, you know, to professionals as well. And all levels, you're encouraged, no matter where you are in your career, you're encouraged to apply. So, but there are like, that's why it is so popular, because there are so many flexibilities. And then you can do, you know, these activities in the same academic year or over the course of 2 consecutive years, because, you know, they allow for the flex option. And these are this is available in all the regions. So you can do, like, you can select a country from one of the, like, 3 countries in these world regions to conduct your work. And, you know, some additional parameters about the flex option that are explained here. I can share also this award in the chat box so that you can read for more. But definitely, you know, again, it is a very competitive award. And we always try to encourage applicants to look for the one country award, because the impact is greater. It's hard to justify an impact to 2 or 3 different countries, right? You might have a greater impact in one country, but then the second country. So this is where your impact is measured in a way by getting the letter of invitation, because it is required. If you're proposing to go to 3 different countries, you are required to provide us with a letter of invitation with a strong endorsement from each country. So, and then language is not required, additional qualifications. So PhD is preferred, so it's not required. Again, this is why we've seen like a trend of increased interest in this award. And then the stipends, depending on every country, would have different stipends, but, you know, again, I would encourage you to look for more like information about this award. And you can always email my colleagues, globalaward@iie.org, for more specific information. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. So going back to, you know, I want to pick just another award that is, for example, a discipline focused. This one in Spain, Global International Studies at the Universidad de Salamanca. So if you are working in your international studies, this is a great opportunity for you. Or I can explore some opportunities in the discipline of music, because I heard there were like some colleagues that are in music. So let me just select it, because these filters here on the left-hand side help you select your award, identify like a narrow search. So let's say, what region would you be interested in, for example, Lorena? Like, you have any specific? You're muted.
Yes, you got me by surprise.
Sorry, to put you on the spot.
Well, mostly Latin America.
Okay, so that would be in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, I'm biased. I wanted to suggest Europe, but okay, because I work in Europe and we do have great opportunities in music. But let's see what West Ham offers, and let's see, for example, the other. What are you interested to do, like research or both teaching and research, or this is how you can just refine your
mostly research, yeah.
Okay, and then grant length, that's okay. Let's see what they offer. Degree requirement, whether you have
a PhD.
You have it. Okay, great. Candidate profile. Where are you in your career?
Middle.
Okay, so let's say all levels and then the letter, it doesn't matter. Let's see what they offer. And let me just, you can go back here and just click enter. Should give us the, unfortunately, we couldn't find like a very specific award in music in the West Ham. They do have some in Canada, like, let's see, but you would either need to look for like these old discipline awards. They're open, let's see, in Colombia, if they have any preferred discipline. So this is open to any discipline. This could be like, one of the possibilities. You just apply for an old discipline. Whenever you cannot find your discipline in that country, you can just go for an old discipline. But if you can find an award that has like music as a preferred discipline, you always have better chances. So just wanted to share that with you. So other information that is important once you identify the award, because I showed you the award requirement, whether the letter is required or not, whether the language is required or not. So this in this case, it is recommended, it's intermediate. And then you need to register a qualified language evaluator for this particular award whenever it is required. And it's like getting another recommender, basically. Here on the third tab, you would find information about the stipends. How much do they offer? Because this is also important information to help you decide on that country. And then if they offer dependence allowance or additional allowances, and more information about the countries, you can find it here on the last tab. Here you have begin application process. This will take you to another part of our website, which is like from A to Z, what you need to complete your application, and the online application, which is now closed, of course, because the cycle is closed. But once we start, you can start. But I would recommend just you look for this information on our website, and then if you have any particular questions you don't understand, just reach out to us. So, okay. Yes,
I have a question for you. Do we know in some of these one country offers, how many scholarships and are they offering, really, to have a sense of the pool and competition, I mean, and possibilities?
Yes, of course, that's a great question, and I should have covered that, but let me just go back to the to our website. Yes, it is indicated for every award you will have this information on, let's say, example, Australia, which usually, like the English speaking countries, are always more competitive. But for example, this award in Australia will tell us, and every award will have this information here, number of grants. This is where you can know, you will learn how many people will be selected. So, and then I forgot to also highlight, for every award, we will have a dedicated staff member that works on the program that you can email us, and you can call us or join an office hour once we open the application cycle. And this is something we started this year, since we couldn't travel. We wanted to offer, every week we hosted regional office hours. So like for Europe, every Monday I had an open office hour where applicants just joined and asked questions. So, you know, we do offer these a lot of help and resources. So yeah, thank you, that's a great question. Any other questions? Because I would like to continue on the part of how to make a strong application, what to focus on as part of your, when you start the application. So I just showed you the, can you see my screen? Okay. So the application components, what is required, first of all, the online application form, it is a pretty user-friendly that you need to start that as soon as you identify what award, what country you can start it, because it has a lot of moving parts and therefore some work is required. So basically, the project statement is one of the most important application components, which is 3 to 5 pages long document where you describe your project and then you focus on what you plan to do, the specific country that where you're planning to teach, the courses you're planning to teach, and the goals of your research, your methods if you're applying for research. And then you explain, why did you select this country, etc. So a part of the project statement this year, we added also 3 additional essay questions where you are going to be asked to explain why Fulbright, why this country, how adaptable you are, especially if you've lived abroad. Then you can use that as a way to explain how you can work well with other cultures, and if you dealt with challenging situations and how you dealt with those. That is very important. As important as your academic accomplishments as a Fulbrighter, the cultural adaptability, serving as cultural ambassador also is very important, your personal qualities. And then your CV should be tailored according to the needs. So make sure you highlight all the important work you've done related to this particular teaching or research you're proposing to do. 2 letters of recommendations are required, 1 from your home institution and 1 from a person outside your home institution. Language proficiency if it is required, the letter of invitation if it is required. Additional supplementary materials, especially if you're applying for teaching, the course outline or syllabi is required. This could be a sample outline or a syllabi you've adjusted for the needs of this country, a select bibliography for research only. And if you're applying as an artist, architect, journalist, creative writer, journalist, etc., we require a portfolio. Basically, this is a sample of your work. And then how to identify affiliations and invitations. Basically, like I mentioned in the award page itself, under location, you will identify what institution you are recommended to affiliate with, or in many cases, the award is a partnership awards. Like for example, in the UK, we offer mostly partnership awards with particular universities, and you can only apply to those. And some countries are have these open-ended, but every country would have specific requirements whenever they say it is open to only accredited institutions in the hosting country. So, make sure you do not affiliate with a UN agency or an international organization, because the goal of the Fulbright, again, is to promote and foster these mutual understanding between the US and this hosting country. So when the host is not identified, there are some other resources to help you with it. Review again for the suggested hosts or resources. Sometimes they provide a list of accredited institutions in the hosting country, and you look for those and try to identify an institution that does similar work to what you do. And we do have the Fulbright Scholar Directory, which is a resource of alumni who went on a Fulbright the last 10 years. And that's where I identified that 3 alumni from UNC Greensboro attended the program in the last 10 years. And you can always reach out to them. We do not provide their emails, but if you do a quick search, especially if they're academics, you will find their emails. And then I see that you also have an international office in your campus or study abroad. So that could be a great resource. And check if you're hosting international students. I guess this year is a bit tough, but like if you have any, at least virtual international students that are attending your classes or in person, then you can just check with them. If they're coming from this country, just meet with them and see what are some of the priorities in this country. But also same if you have any scholars that are attending your campus. And keep in mind, so whenever the letter of invitation is required, you reach out to the host, you get the letter, and that helps you, build a stronger application, get a stronger endorsement. But keep in mind that this is a non-binding expression of interest from proposed hosts abroad, and should come from a person with whom you are collaborating, and should be on their host institutional letterhead. And here is the application cycle, the timeline. Basically, once we open in February, the deadline will be September 15. And after you submitted your application, we do a technical review of the application to make sure that it is complete. You're not missing like a letter of invitation if it is required, or letter of recommendation, etc. From October, November, this is now where we stand. We're doing US peer review, and these are colleagues in your discipline that review your applications. If you pass or not that first stage, you will be notified like in December. And there's those applicants that pass the first review stage will be, their application will be processed further to the hosting countries, where the Fulbright commissions or the US embassies will make their final recommendations. And then you will learn by April or May at the latest of the following year if you are selected. So it's a really thorough review process, because keep in mind, this is a merit-based fellowship, and that's why there's so many review process steps, and they want to make sure that the best are selected. We do have other Fulbright opportunities, the International Education Administrator seminars. We have them in Europe and Asia, and there are different deadlines for these seminars. So basically, they're usually 2 weeks, except for France. It's like 10 days seminar. But if you have any questions, you can always ask my colleagues who work on the seminars. It's iea@iie.org, their email address. But basically, if you are an administrator or work in study abroad programs, and if you're interested to build like strong relations with any of these countries, and again, you can only apply to one of these countries, this is a great opportunity for you. The application process is a bit different from the Fulbright. It's much simpler, but again, this is I would recommend that you contact my colleagues who work on the IEA program. The other opportunities we have, since I didn't see that you've hosted, especially an international scholar in your campus, I would recommend you explore the Fulbright Scholar in Residence program, because you can host scholars from other countries to teach for a semester or an academic year. So here's the email address, or you can find out more about this program. But you can also host a currently visiting Fulbrighter for a week, 2 to 6 days on the discipline, or cultural topics to internationalize your campus. And then the Fulbright Language Teaching Assistant Program, you can host native speaking teacher assistants to enhance students' understanding of these cultures. So, well, Fulbright programs, we do have so many of them. It's a large family, but again, if you do have like interested students, passionate about building bridges with other cultures, encourage them to apply to the Fulbright U.S. student program, because there are great opportunities, and Heidi probably can tell you more about that. But definitely, you know, explore these opportunities, stay connected with us. We are very active on social media, and you can always email us, scholars@ie.org. I'm going to share also my email address, so you have it. You can always refer your colleagues. And what I would recommend, now I'm going to share also a part of our website that also wants you to connect with Fulbright. So I'm just gonna find that here in our website and share with you all. So you can register your interest, and then when the time comes, we will send updates to those who have registered their interest, and you will receive emails from us. And then along the application process, you will receive instructions, tips on how to put a strong proposal together. So that's the Connect with Fulbright. And also I'm going to share my email address with you if you have any follow-up questions. And especially if you're interested to apply to Europe and Eurasia, I'm more than happy to help you. So thank you again for your attention. And I'm looking forward to receiving any questions you might have. Great.
Oh, Marqueta.
I'm wondering, who is the one that actually makes the decision about who receives the award? Is it the local institution? Is it someone on the US side, or is it a collaborative decision-making process?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are two steps in the review process. So the first one happens here in the US, and the applications are reviewed by US colleagues in your discipline. These are discipline committees, and then they make the recommendation for applications to be processed further to the hosting countries. Once you pass that first stage and your application is in the hosting country, every country has different dynamics. But from my experience, whether it is managed by a Fulbright Commission or a US Embassy, they also convene a panel, a commission. And this panel is many times the Fulbright Commission representatives. That could be scholars in your discipline, or if you're applying to a partnership award, a partner from that university representative, could be US scholar grantees who are currently in the country, or their alumni, so depending, but then they make the final recommendation. And then it's the Fulbright Scholarship Board that makes the final decision. So this is basically like a 3-step process, but once the hosting country recommends, that's like the final decision in a way.
That makes sense.
Can I add something to that, Afrodita? So sometimes there is universities that sponsor a specific award from a country, and they may have very specific requirements of who they're looking for, right? And depending on those awards might be identified from the university itself. So for example, I worked with a university, MCI in Austria, has its own award that it funds every year. And when I was helping faculty connect, we connected directly with the people who had the need and they were funding this award. And so sometimes decisions get made that way too.
Yes, that's what I meant with the partnership. Thank you, Maria, for explaining. So yeah, Austria has great partners, and they always want to make sure, because they also invest in the program. So about 40% of the funding as part of the Fulbright comes from foreign governments and foreign partners. And that's why it is important for them to have a partner representative in the review panel. So it is a really, like, from the moment you submit your application is reviewed constantly. Like, first, like I mentioned, it's a technical review where we do, like the staff at IIE, we make sure that you're not missing like a component. so that you're not marked as ineligible, because sometimes when the letter of invitation is required, you don't have it, then we want to make sure to give you an additional like 1 week or so to complete it. But once you are eligible, you move to the peer review, the US peer review, and then they do a thorough review of these applications. That's where we are now for the 21-22 application cycle. And it is, you know, these people do this voluntarily, these reviewers, so they spend a lot of time reading these applications. I don't know, Maria, if you've ever had a chance to do it, but
I have not had a chance, but I did work with faculty who had done that directly, and it's so powerful to kind of know and get a sense of what the reviewers are looking for. So maybe I can share just a couple of things of how we can help you in the Office of International Programs, because we are always so thankful to have IIE as partners. You can get in touch with them for very specific information about the country you're applying to, because they will have that information more readily than we do. But there's a couple of other things that I worked at Appalachian State University for the last 6 years, and for 5 years I helped faculty apply for the awards, and I was very happy. I'm very happy to say that we were recognized as a top producing university for the Scholar Program at Appalachian State. And here's a few things that we did that we, you know, the faculty there found useful, and we can try them over here and see if that's useful for you. One, like Afrodita said, is we can connect you with partners. So the grants that require a letter of invitation, we have more than 100 partnerships on this campus. We can, if where you are interested in going in your research, if it's research, your research takes you to a specific country and we have a partnership over there, we'd be more than happy to connect you with a partner and find a faculty that you can work with to develop your statement and make it stronger, your application, make it stronger. So that's one way. The other way, at App State, we had created a writing circle. So we would come together once a month, and then it was dedicated time for you to be working on either writing that email to the partner to ask for the invitation letter, maybe write your statement, maybe work on a syllabus, whatever that would be for you, but it was dedicated time. And we can have a few of our staff members who can invite faculty who have had the awards before to kind of work through and think about any questions that you might have. So that's another thing that I can propose that we start on this campus. The other thing that we found useful, and if there's interest, then I need to, this is something, I'm very new here, so I'm trying to figure out things here, but we had a peer review process through the Office of Research. So people, faculty who had had the awards before, we can do an anonymous peer review of your application, so they can give you feedback based on their experience to make it stronger, right? And then last, we can help better communication with your chair and your deans, because one of the, if you apply and, it takes you away from the classroom for 3 to 9 months, depending on where you're going, and you haven't really clearly communicated with your department chair, then, we don't want this to be an impediment to you not being able to accept the award because correct communication was not done with the chair and the dean. And, thinking about maybe your benefits as you're going. Sometimes the awards from Fulbright don't cover everything. So how does the university support you through that process? And the earlier the chair and the dean knows about these things, the better they can prepare, so they can have adjuncts, so they can have, they can plan the rest of the faculty to help covering your classes, for example, right? So these are all things that I'm working on, and I'm willing to start the process here on the UNCG campus to support your application and help you make them the strongest. Again, IIE is a fantastic partner because they know all the intricacies about the specific country and maybe an award that we may not know, but I hope to kind of strengthen the relationship there too, so we can better support all of you on campus.
That's great, Maria. That's a great resource, because I always recommend applicants to check what is the home institution support that they provide. So thanks for sharing that. That's very important.
And if you don't mind, I can send an email out and just we can have some sort of a form, and you tell us what kinds of things you're interested in. Again, it can be anonymous. You can tell us what support do you need from us that we haven't talked about to help you make those the strongest applications.
I'll be happy to, this is Carmen, Monica, I'd be happy to support
Thank you so
scholars.
much.
I have actually, I was part of the review process in my previous institution, Elon University, of student applications. And so I served for about 4 years there, and as part of a review committee member, and now and helped a couple of scholars who were interested in applying to become U.S. scholars after my experience. So, I'm really happy to help. Just reach out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's really important that we have faculty, help and support through the process, other faculty. Thank you, Carmen. I'll be in touch. I hope you all found this useful, and I hope we thank you again, Afertita, for your time. This was really helpful. Are you willing to share the presentation with us? So if others come to our office asking about this, we can share that with them and guide them through?
Yes, I believe I shared it, but I can, share it again. So no worries. Yes, and
Thank
again, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions as you start exploring these possibilities. We're here to help even outside the application cycle.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to virtually meet you all, and looking forward to working with you. Yeah, feel free again to reach out. You have my email address, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you so
everyone. Very
much.
nice to meet you, and we'll be in touch with an email.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.